I thought he was my best friend's brother, until he became my boyfriend. Soft tone, half asleep. I was sore from last night when my best friend called. Annoyed, I groaned into the pillow. Noah, why are you calling me if you're looking for your brother? You think we live together now? He paused on the line, then said quietly, but I dialed his number. The room went silent, and before I could even sit up, a deep, lazy voice beside me said, Babe, this is my phone. I froze. My heart stopped, then started beating way too fast. I turned my head, and there he was, Adrian, Noah's older brother, lying shirtless beside me, his hair a little messy, his eyes half awake, and that faint smirk that could probably end nations. I shot up so fast I almost fell out of the bed. What the hell are you doing here? Did something? He raised an eyebrow, voice calm, slow, amused. Good morning to you too, sunshine. And relax. I didn't touch you. Didn't touch me. Then why did my body ache? Why did my shirt feel like it wasn't mine? I looked around. The room was definitely his. Big windows, expensive sheets, that faint scent of cedar and smoke. My mind was blank. The last thing I remembered was going out with Noah to some crowded bar near campus. Then someone offered me a drink. A guy I didn't know. After that, nothing. Just darkness. Adrian, I whispered, turning to him, my throat tight. What happened last night? He leaned back against the headboard, muscles flexing slightly as he reached for his phone, my phone, on the nightstand. You were drugged, he said flatly. Someone slipped something in your drink. I got there before it got worse. My stomach dropped. What do you mean, before it got worse? How did you even— I own the bar, Eli. His tone softened, but his jaw clenched. I saw you. You could barely stand. That guy, he stopped. Then his eyes darkened. Let's just say he won't be walking straight for a while. I swallowed hard. Did you bring me here? He nodded. You wouldn't let go of me, he said with a small grin. Kept calling me handsome and asking if I had a twin. I felt my face burn instantly. Oh my God, I didn't. You did. He smirked, watching me scramble to find my shirt. And before you ask, no, we didn't do anything. You passed out after calling me a beautiful wall of muscles. I covered my face with my hands. Kill me now. Just kill me. He chuckled lowly. That can be arranged. Then he looked at me. Really looked at me, like he was trying to memorize my face. I didn't plan on you ending up here, Eli, he said quietly. But if you ever did, I can't say I'd complain. Something in his tone made my stomach twist, a mix of teasing and truth I wasn't ready to face. Adrian, don't— He tilted his head, smiling slightly. Don't what? Flirt with you? You've been drooling over me since freshman year? What? That's not— Relax, he said softly, sliding out of bed and stretching like he had all the time in the world. I'm kidding. Mostly, the morning light fell on his shoulders, catching the scar along his collarbone. One I'd never noticed before. He looked dangerous and beautiful. And somehow I couldn't stop staring. That was the moment I realized something had shifted, something between us. He'd saved me, protected me. And yet, I couldn't shake the feeling that there was something else he wasn't telling me. Something about last night. And maybe I didn't want to know. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. I was curious. The more I tried to avoid him, the closer he got. The rest of that morning passed in awkward silence. I tried to sneak out quietly, but Adrian caught me at the door, leaning against the frame like he'd been waiting the whole time. Running away already? I gritted my teeth. I'm not running. Then why aren't you looking at me? He said it like a challenge, voice smooth, eyes unreadable. I forced myself to meet his gaze. Mistake number one. Because up close, Adrian was unfair. Black hair, slightly tousled, eyes a sharp steel gray, like they could cut through excuses. And that faint scar on his jaw only made him look more dangerous. Thanks for saving me, I muttered, but I really have to go. He stepped aside, smiling. Fine, but next time, don't take drinks from strangers. I won't, I said quickly. He leaned in, voice barely above a whisper. Good, because I'd hate to have to kill another one. Pause. I didn't know if he was joking, and that scared me more than anything. A few days later, I was back at school pretending everything was normal. Noah kept asking where I disappeared to after the bar. I lied, said I got tired and went home early. He laughed. Man, you missed it. Some jerk got into a fight with Adrian that night. The guy ended up in the hospital. My stomach turned. Hospital? Yeah, crazy, right? Adrian's intense, but I didn't think he'd actually… He stopped mid-sentence, noticing my expression. Wait, why do you look like that? I forced a smile. No reason. But I knew exactly why. Because I'd seen that same cold fire in Adrian's eyes the night I woke up in his bed, and part of me couldn't tell if he'd done it out of anger or out of protection. Later that night, I got a message. Adrian. You haven't been answering. Eli. I've been busy. Adrian. Liar. Eli. Stop texting me. Adrian. Then open the door. My heart jumped. When I opened the door, he was standing there, coat half unbuttoned, eyes darker than I remembered. You shouldn't ignore me. I stepped back, flustered. You can't just show up here. I can when you refuse to talk to me. I don't owe you anything. He smirked, stepping closer. No, but you want to? I hated that he was right. His presence filled the small space between us. Warm, suffocating, magnetic. He looked down at me like I was a puzzle he already knew how to solve. Eli, he said softly. You think I'm dangerous? And maybe I am, but I'd never hurt you. Pause. I didn't say you would. Then why are you shaking? I'm not… He reached up, brushed his fingers over my wrist. Slow, deliberate. You are. The air felt heavy. My pulse wouldn't calm down. Inner thought. There was something about the way he said my name. Like he owned it. Owned me. And maybe that scared me most of all. Rumors spread fast. People started whispering that Adrian got suspended for fighting again. Something about teaching someone a lesson. But no one dared say it to his face. He was the kind of man people feared, admired, and couldn't stop talking about. And yet, every time our eyes met across the quad, he'd just smile faintly, like a secret we both weren't ready to share. But secrets don't stay buried forever, especially not the kind that involve blood, power, and a night I couldn't remember. And the more I tried to stay away, the deeper I fell. Some people said Adrian was dangerous, some said he was cursed. But when he looked at me, I didn't see a monster. I saw the man who saved me, the one who made my heart race, the one who might ruin me, if I didn't ruin him first. Soft night ambience, heartbeat under the silence. He was still standing there at my door, coat half unbuttoned, eyes like storm clouds. For a long moment, neither of us said anything. Then he sighed. You're shaking again. I wanted to snap back, but my throat felt tight. You can't just show up like this. Adrian's gaze softened. Then stop running from me. Pause. Inner thought. I hated how my pulse listened to him more than I did. He took a slow step forward, close enough for me to feel the chill of the rain still clinging to his jacket. I didn't come here to scare you, he said quietly. I came because you won't let me explain. Explain what? That I woke up in his bed with no memory? That every glance from him felt like a secret he was refusing to tell? I folded my arms. Then talk. Adrian hesitated. Not tonight. You're tired, inner thought. Tired. Confused. And completely undone by the way he said my name. He reached past me, turned off the hall light, and the world narrowed to the small distance between us. His voice dropped, low enough to sound like a promise. Sleep, Eli. I'll make this right. When the door clicked shut behind him, I finally exhaled. But peace didn't come. Only questions did. 3 days passed. I told myself to focus on class, on normal things. It didn't work. Every time my phone buzzed, I hoped it was him. Every time it wasn't, I hated myself for hoping. Noah was laughing with his friends at the cafe. Eli, are you even listening? I blinked. Yeah, sorry, late night. He grinned. What, with my brother? I nearly choked on my coffee. What? No! He laughed harder. Relax, man. You two have been weird since the bar incident. Inner thought. Weird. That's one word for it. Before I could answer, a shadow fell across the table. Adrian. Noah, he said smoothly. Mom's been calling you. Noah groaned and left us alone. Adrian looked at me. You've been avoiding me. I've been busy. He tilted his head. Busy pretending nothing happened? My heartbeat stuttered. Nothing did happen. He didn't answer, just slid his phone across the table. A short video played, blurry footage from the bar that night. Me, laughing, drink in hand, then someone slipping something into my glass. My stomach turned cold. That's why you don't remember, he said quietly. I followed you when you left. The guy tried to drag you outside. I stopped him. I wallowed hard. And then? I hit him, Adrian said simply. Too many times. But he deserved worse. Pause. I looked at him, at the faint bruise still near his knuckles. And for the first time, the fear I felt wasn't of him. It was for him. You could have been arrested. I didn't care. His eyes met mine, steady and unreadable. I only cared that you were safe. Inner thought. The world felt too loud. Every word he said echoed somewhere I didn't want to touch. Evening. We ended up walking home together. Neither of us talked. Halfway up the stairs to my apartment, I stopped. Why didn't you tell me sooner? Adrian's voice was rough. Because I thought you'd look at me like I'm dangerous. I already did, I whispered, and I was wrong. He took one small step closer, then stopped looking away. I didn't. For a long second, we just stood there, rain dripping from his hair, my pulse filling the silence. He lifted a hand, brushing his thumb across a raindrop on my cheek. Gentle, careful, like he was testing if I'd flinch. I didn't. Inner thought. Somewhere between fear and gratitude, something softer had started to bloom. Adrian's voice trembled the slightest bit. Eli, I don't know what this is supposed to be, but every time you're near, I forget how to stay calm. And before I could overthink it, he leaned in. Our foreheads touched, a hesitant press of warmth in the cool night air. Then, barely a heartbeat later, his lips brushed mine. Light, uncertain, gone before I could even close my eyes. He stepped back first. I shouldn't have done that, he murmured. I didn't know what to say, but when he turned to leave, I caught his wrist. Then don't apologize. That night, I realized something terrifying. The line between danger and comfort had disappeared. Adrian wasn't just the man who saved me. He was becoming the reason I wanted to be saved. And maybe that was the real temptation. The city below us was quiet, just the hum of cars and the faint pulse of lights reflecting in Adrian's eyes. After everything that happened, I didn't know what to say. He stood there, leaning against the railing, his shirt slightly damp from the mist, his expression unreadable. Adrian broke the silence first. You keep avoiding me, he said softly, but I'm not the type to give up easily. I swallowed. You should. You've already done more than enough for me. He smiled faintly, that teasing, heart-stopping curve of his lips. You think saving you that night means I'm done caring? Pause. I looked away. You barely knew me. That's where you're wrong, he whispered. I knew you long before that night. You were always there. Your laugh in the cafe, your voice calling Noah, pretending you didn't see me looking. Pause. Warmth building. You noticed that? I asked. I noticed everything about you. Soft instrumental swell, wind sound rising. I laughed under my breath, stepping closer despite myself. Then stop pretending now. His eyes darkened. Pretending? He took a step forward, closing the space between us. I'm done pretending, Eli. I want you to stop running. You can't just... Can't what? Adrian's voice dropped, low and dangerous. Can't tell you I care? That I don't want you waking up somewhere I can't find you? Rain begins to fall lightly, cinematic background. I stared up at him, the chill of the night mixing with the heat between us. Then stop making me fall for you. Beat, silence, only rain. Adrian's hand reached up, brushing the wet hair from my forehead. Too late for that, he said softly. His lips were warm, steady, sure, as if he'd been holding that moment forever. And for the first time, I didn't pull away. When he finally pulled back, he rested his forehead against mine. Whatever happens next, he whispered, you're not alone anymore. I smiled, heart still racing. Then I guess you're stuck with me. He smirked, voice a low rumble. Good. I never planned to let you go in the end. Some people call it obsession. I called it fate. Because in his arms, I finally understood. I was never supposed to escape him. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More stories like this one are on the way.